I mean, someone who kind of walks the line between now, I guess, an incumbent, but still has the brand of a bit of an upstart is someone you were just talking about. You've got this new video posted on the Silver Bulletin Substack where you say Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez could be the likely Democrat for 2028. For years since she came to Washington, she's been a firebrand for the right. She's always written off by a lot of folks as like too progressive. But we've really seen her kind of rise and get her stride. And she's doing these rallies with Bernie Sanders and drawing crowds. Are you convinced that she could get the support of the full party if she did run?
Meanwhile,
well, local leaders in the parts of Queens that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez represents are calling on FBI Director Kash Patel to take on the crimes and the gangs. That, they say, is getting worse. All of this is getting worse, despite a massive NYPD crackdown that started last year and resulted in hundreds being arrested.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. So I wanted to come on and talk about AOC and what's happening in her district. And right now, it seems like AOC is having a hard time with keeping down crime in her district. The Democratic Party says they might run her as the top of the ticket for 2028, but you can't get there unless you're doing a good job in your district. And when I tell you there are people that want to get her out of her seat, there's someone running against her right now. I want you guys to see what's actually going on in AOC's district and who may be running against her. Watch.
Well, local leaders in the parts of Queens that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez represents are calling on FBI Director Kash Patel to take on the crimes and the gangs. That, they say, is getting worse. All of this is getting worse, despite a massive NYPD crackdown that started last year and resulted in hundreds being arrested. Here to discuss is Republican candidate for New York City Council of District 25, Ramses Frias. Ramses, so great to have you on. I'm going to show you, I was in your district with you at some points. Let's take a look at this flashback so we can show people what her district looks like.
After 7 p.m., you cannot walk around here.
In the corner, every like a week, you heard like somebody was killed, somebody was like beaten.
I feel very unsafe, truly. I've had 3 times someone try to assault me, try to pull my gold chain.
So Ramses, you live there. I was there just about a month ago. Same thing. I saw some of the same stuff. She's out fighting the oligarchy. She's on a tour with Bernie Sanders in like Wyoming and all over and California. What's happening in your district? Why isn't she there?
She's an absentee landlord. She never comes around. She doesn't want to, face the facts that this community is going under. We are facing so many issues from prostitution, violent crime. Gangs are just taking over our streets, putting their tags up everywhere and making things so uncomfortable for all of our community members.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the prostitution, because when I was there at 9 in the morning. I was there at 9 in the morning until around 11:30, and I saw dozens of tricks being turned there. I don't understand why she's fighting the oligarchy. Why doesn't she fight the pimps who are exploiting the women in that district? It was very sad. Very young girls that I saw involved in this trade.
It's just horrible. Human trafficking is at an all-time high in our area. And it's almost as if the politicians in the area are trying to make it legal and make it a regular thing.
And you see right there, a lot of the illegal immigrants starting businesses there on the streets, while business owners had to, work their whole lives to get, pay for a license to sell alcohol when somebody's selling alcohol on the streets. How is the business community reacting, and what is the situation of the citizens? Are they actually asking AOC to account for why there's so much neglect in her district?
Our businesses are suffering. A lot of doors are closing, and then the doors that are opening are just more brothels. These are the things that this community does not need. You're
running for office against AOC. What's your message to the people in your district?
I have to do is try my best to restore the balance here and bring back a community that's well-loved and has so much to offer. We're tired of being stepped on. We're tired of being used. We just want to live peaceful and tranquil lives, just like everyone else. Everyone here wants the American dream.
All right, so you guys just saw that. You saw that AOC's district is not only ran down, it's riddled with crime, okay? And the prostitution is just running rampant, okay? She calls it sex work. However, most of those are young girls being sex trafficked. However, just like with everything else, when it involves migrants and sex work and sex slaves, they don't care. The Democrats know what's happening. Now, moving on, I want you guys to see the difference in how the media is reporting, okay? Because right now, instead of reporting what's actually going on in her district, they're reporting her as some hero that's going to save the Democratic Party, okay? They are pushing her for 2028. Watch.
I mean, someone who kind of walks the line between now, I guess, an incumbent, but still has the brand of a bit of an upstart is someone you were just talking about. You've got this new video posted on the Silver Bulletin Substack where you say Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez could be the likely Democrat for 2028. For years since she came to Washington, she's been a firebrand for the right. She's always written off by a lot of folks as like too progressive. But we've really seen her kind of rise and get her stride. And she's doing these rallies with Bernie Sanders and drawing crowds. Are you convinced that she could get the support of the full party if she did run?
You know, to be clear, the candidates themselves are already positioning themselves to make their run. So I think it's fair game for us to look at the moves that they're making and sort of analyze them accordingly. And here's what I can say about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She is well liked by Democrats. Her approval rating is plus 60%. That has her about tied with Harris and Buttigieg. So even though she has in the past been seen as a polarizing figure, across the party, she is well liked. And if a lot of Democrats run in 2028, you know, one of those clown car primaries where everyone just keeps announcing, I'm also running, having that really enthusiastic base of support as you move through the different primary states can be really helpful. You listen to these fighting oligarchy rallies. Her message is mostly about the economy. She's not talking about abolishing ICE and the kinds of things that were very polarizing and frankly unpopular that she was talking a lot about in the first Trump administration. And so I think Democrats have evolved in terms of how they view her.
All right, so you guys just heard that. You heard AOC has a good chance of running because she's well liked across the party and she's holding these big rallies, like positioning herself as a presidential candidate. When I tell you she knows what she's doing by doing this, she knows. However, where she's not well liked is her district. Where she's not actually fighting is her district. And when I tell you last year, a town hall that AOC had made that very clear. I want you guys to see this flashback of her town hall meeting she had with her district. Watch.
Several crowd members took issue with AOC's stances on immigration and funding for Ukraine. It escalated through what was supposed to be a question and answer session.
$100 billion you claim that you voted for.
Are you going to stop this war? That's my question. Are we going to?
Yeah, we know about the
Yeah, we know about the paper. Why are you afraid of your constituents?
The most vocal critics were led away by security. Afterward, Ocasio-Cortez tweeted she was grateful for a great crowd and the opportunity to answer questions, adding a smiley face emoji.
I wanted to show you the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, okay? Because we all know that AOC, Hakeem Jeffries, Ratchet Crockett, all of these people, right? They all talk about these town halls that the Republicans are having and that their constituents are mad. Now, mind you, most of them are Democrat constituents that show up. However, it's still the same issue. They are having town halls that are rowdy, okay? And they're saying, see, the people don't like their policies. So what is this, AOC? What does this mean? This means that the people don't like your policies. They don't like what you're doing and they want you out. This was just last year. And now we fast forward to this year and we're talking about AOC's district. It's out of control and there's nothing she's doing about it because she doesn't care like most Democrats. We understand. Okay, so last but not least, now that we know what she's not doing, what is she doing? What is she spending her time doing, being that she's not in her district, being that she's not helping her constituents? She never answers them. She never helps them. What is she doing? I'll tell you what she's doing. She's flying around in private jets. Watch.
Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders just wrapped up another stellar week of their Fighting Oligarchy tour, where they railed against Elon Musk and extreme wealth. Watch.
It is not a coincidence that billionaires like Elon Musk dump billions into this election to support Donald Trump. Billionaires and thieves governed by billionaires.
Greedy billionaires.
Big money and billionaires. Billionaires like Elon Musk.
We're angry at the billionaires, brought to you by George Soros. But just a few days ago, right after they got done trashing the rich, the Green New Deal duo boarded a private jet. How luxurious. Fox News Digital was able to get this photo of the aircraft. The luxury Bombardier Challenger private jet is operated by a company that says it has one of the widest cabins of any business jet available today and provides superior cabin comfort for its passengers. And it can cost up to $15,000 an hour. That's more than you make in 2 months.
And there you have it. The person that's supposed to be for the people because she used to be a waitress, even though she comes from money and she just decided to get a job. I digress. That person is flying around in a $15,000 an hour jet. Okay, this is how she's getting around. And isn't she for clean air? Doesn't she want you to not use cars? She's in New York where they have that consumption tax because they don't want you to use cars. But yet they use private jets that actually mess up the air quality. All right. But they're telling you, hey, you can't drive your car. You cannot make this stuff up. This woman is full of it. She's not for the constituents, for the poor that are in her community, because those people that are in her community are poor. So now we get to see what the people of that district are going to do. Are they going to allow AOC to keep doing what she's doing? You know, not helping that district, keep allowing the prostitution in the red light district to keep on, keep allowing vendors that have no licenses to sit outside of actual businesses that support the community? Or are they going to vote her out because they see that she's a fraud? She's flying around in private jets. She doesn't do anything for the people. She's all about the money and she's all about Washington. She doesn't care about the NYC district that she's supposed to serve, which doesn't surprise me. Most Democrats don't. However, I could be wrong. So you guys get down in the comments, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about AOC not showing up to her district and all of the red light district stuff going on. You know, the migrant girls, the migrant women just being taken advantage of, having to be on a stroll, you know. And let me know what you think about a new Republican in that district running for council and also having hopes to take her seat. Let me know what you think about it. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl Mika, and I'm out. Peace.